Hey guys, how you doing? Glorious, glorious sound. Oh dear. Hi. Hi, how are you guys? This is not the setting that I wanted. And now back to the show, now with glasses.
Welcome to Smoke Shop.
Howdy gang. What we have here is I believe it's a 2000 if I remember correctly, Kawasaki Vulcan 800, which is a V-twin engine with one carburetor slap dab in the middle. And I have purchased from our local Amazonian forest neighbors the carburetor rebuild kit, which is hopefully the correct one. It said it was, but I'm long past the return window on this. So, what we're going to do is pull this carburetor and take it apart and realize that we don't have any carburetor cleaner and we got to go to the auto parts store. One of my YouTube buddies, we were talking about this project coming up and rebuilding the carburetor, and he said he was always one of those people that was concerned about doing carburetors and never really wanted to get into it because of all the small parts. And I told him do it in a tray, and this is literally the drawer from one of those cheapo office organizer things, you know, that holds papers or whatever. And we're going to use that. And as we assess this, we're going to put on our glasses because I can't see a thing without my glasses. It looks like, oh, I didn't take that off because it's got 15 hoses attached to it. Now I remember. Speaking of hoses, we do not particularly want to destroy all these hoses. Okay, first thing I'm seeing is some rust, which is not a good sign because this is a water-cooled motorcycle. And that could mean bad things. Now we're going to remove all the lines that I just put on here when we last left this project. Alright, up. So there's that. I guess we're going to take off this thing because it's in our way. Ooh. Okay, there's one. This plate can come off. Sure hope we're recording. This would be our idle control. Interesting, I did not know that was there. This hose, I don't know what it is, but it's coming off too. Just as pretty as you please. There's another one. How many hoses did I say there were? Because I think I was short about 5. That's ridiculous how many hoses there are on this thing. But that's emissions for you. Emissions crap. In theory, we'll have to get that off of there. Thank you. Sweet. Alright. Now I can get to that better. Once again, mind you, kids, we're still just trying to get to the carburetor to pull it off. The fasteners on the carburetor. Oh, okay. I mean, it almost looks like it just forced this carburetor out of here. So there is always that. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. And then we'll deal with the... Yep, sweet. Awesome. That's best case scenario. Now I can deal with the rest of that. Now that I can get to it. Alright, hopefully y'all are still recording and you can see that I need to remove these cables. And it's shouldn't be as complicated as they're making it. But it's a push-pull. So I can't right. So what I've been fighting with is trying to get these cables off. And I have zero adjustability in those adjusters. And the little bit of adjustability that I might have in this one is completely seized up, which, I mean, I'm sure I can figure out how to loosen it up. But the realization that I've made is, theoretically, this one screw is holding this entire plate on, which is what holds the throttle cables where they are. If I take that screw off, that entire assembly should come off. Oh yeah, bud. That's the solution, guys. I don't know if you can still see that. Pull that screw out, which is attaching it there, which gives us all the slack that we need on the cables that I was fighting. And the reason that we're fighting it, or that I was fighting it, is because it's a push-pull configuration. So when you pull on this cable, it pushes on that one. So you can never actually get any slack in them because they're keeping each other tight. We got the carburetor off of the motorcycle. We've got a storm rolling in, which is cooling off the garage real nice. That's it. Okay, cool. It's like enough stuff and things that it needs its own tray. Good thing we got one. That is lots of stuff and things, including a new diaphragm, a new accelerator pump. Yeah, man, this is cool. This is a good kit. Yay for a good kit. Let's take apart a carburetor. Now what I like to do is use the correct size screwdriver, preferably, and give it a little tap on any of the screws that you're going to loosen up. What that does is it just sends a shock through it and helps to break it up if it's if there's any chance of it sticking at all. I think we're going to loosen these up too. I'm not sure the order of operations, but once that bowl is off, then we're not going to be able to really get any leverage on that. So while we can, let's break them loose. Okay. It's a very good. Oh, okay. We're good. So that's the stuff that's screwing us up there, huh? You can see that? Yeah, you can see that. And for now, we're just gonna set that aside. There's springs. There's all kinds of neat stuff. So this is the stuff that you have to be mindful of. This thing had zero chance of running off the carburetor. I'm assuming that you can see that. Oh yeah, there's no chance, not a chance in Hades that was ever going to run. Now I'm hoping that this has at least some of the correct parts. It doesn't look like it, but you know, what do I know? Oh no, that's it. Yeah, okay. So yes, we have a new one of those, which is very good, because cleaning that would be a pain in the ass. Totally possible, and it's usually how I do it, but having the carburetor rebuild kit is going to make that a lot easier. So let's continue our disassembly. We're going to go with disassembly now and cleaning and reassembly tomorrow, I believe. And all I'm doing right now is trying to push the pin through on the float. Reality is I'm going to lay this on its side and try and keep it where you can see it, and give it some taps, and discover that it's not moving. Then we're going to rotate it over the other way and try not to bend anything while doing the same thing from this side. I have not had one this tough in a while. Like ages. That's cray though. I might have to spray. I was trying not to spray anything until we got it a little bit more apart, so that we didn't make a huge mess. I'm going back to this side and try and get a good solid hit on it. I'm not worrying about you seeing it. That was a little. There we go. So if you can see it, that's now drifting in there. Now it's coming out the other side. So that's all we're really trying to accomplish. And I'm not going to drive that to the point where it damages that hole, because you want it to seat relatively tight. That was pretty damn tight, frankly. This hardware does not really need to be in there. Stuff like this I do want in there. Even though we have replacements, we're still going to clean all this up. We even have a new float, so that's cool. Our float valve is completely stuck. So that is another issue for sure. Yes, this carburetor would have never worked without a rebuild. There we go. I was just hoping not to, because I want you to see what's going on. So, there it is. Inside of there is one of these. And it actually moves in and out and allows the bowl to fill with fuel. Like literally, this is the channel that is fed from your fuel tank. When the float drops because the bowl is empty of fuel, then this valve opens up and allows fuel from your fuel tank to fill the bowl back up until that floats and closes that seal. If this seal is stuck in there, which it is, then you're never gonna get any, which is the exact problem that we had. I knew that. You can't get any fuel into your float. You can't get any fuel into the bowl if this valve isn't gonna open. So figure, if you think about it like your sink, you can't open the water valve. So no water is gonna come in. Same thing, except it's fuel. And you don't want fuel coming into your sink. Anyway, I'm pulling on this gently, relatively gently. Oh boy, she's stuck. She's stuck good, y'all. I don't want to damage this, where this slides in and out. So, what we're about to do is go ahead and spray that. Anyway, so the small straw is for precision application. So what I'm trying to do is not make a huge mess and just get some carburetor cleaner in there to break that up, break that loose, and let that come out. That's very unfortunate. Cut! Alright gang, we're going to do a good old-fashioned unboxing today. I bought a new toy. We went ahead and I went ahead and ordered a ultrasonic cleaner from Vivor. I don't remember the model number or anything like that, so let's get it out of the box and we'll figure that all out together. Alright, so like I said, we're just going to do a quick unboxing here. I'm not going to get into too many of the details, but let's get this box opened up. Oops. Gotta remember I'm doing the point of view cam. Alright, well, the packaging was a concern because of this hole right here. But it looks like they've got corners in there. So that's a good start at least. It looks like it's packaged pretty well. I thought it may have been a box inside of a box. I wish that hadn't happened, but it did. I don't know. Let's just pull it out. Oh. Let's see what we got. Awesome. Well, that was a very easy unboxing. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Just kidding. We'll actually figure out what all we've got here. Teflon tape. We got a lid. Now, I did get the larger model. Of course, I don't have the model number. 15 liter. But here's your drain line. Teflon tape for attaching your drain line. Power cord. Your instructions, which we are going to go upstairs and read, but you don't need to be around for that. And our little dingleberries for little tiny parts. You could also make tea with it. Bleep. Our basket with rubber legs. That's a nice, good, deep basket. That's why I wanted the bigger one. I don't really want the styrofoam in there. Yay! We has ultrasonic cleaner. So I went with the analog knobs simply because it's less computer boards and stuff like that to go bad. In addition to that, it was also cheaper. So I don't need all the fancy digital numbers and all that stuff. Pladow! Simple Green Pro HD Cleaner. This is available at Home Depot and is safe for metals. Because what I saw a lot of people using was regular Simple Green and marring up their carburetors. I don't really want to do that. I'd much rather it be nice and pretty clean again. Do not exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit and do not allow solution to dry on. That's interesting. I didn't see anybody even mention that. That's very interesting. Do not exceed. Do not dilute beyond 1 to 10. So heavy duty would be 1 cup of this to 3 cups of water. Anywho, I'm going to research that a little bit more because, whoa, that was loud. That whole 100 degrees thing is interesting. We're going to go ahead and get the diaphragm cover off. This is actually a plastic cover, which is kind of weird. But this does not even really need to be cleaned. So we're just going to put it there. So the diaphragm is still good as far as it's still rubber. It's still soft and supple. We may just clean that up and reuse it because if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of situation. All right, anyhow, we're going to take this off. And again, remember, a lot of this stuff is under spring pressure, including this, and will launch things across the room. It does not care if you lose the parts. So you have to care if you lose the parts. That's a pretty strong spring, just saying. So there's that. This is also stuck. And we do have another one of those also. But it's totally stuck. What I'm going to do at this point is throw this, and this into our bath. And then we're going to turn it on, which is going to make a bunch of noise, and we learned yesterday that we cannot record while making all that racket. Loud noises. Currently, the ultrasonic is off. I did put one part into a glass jar to see the difference in resonance. And visibly, I did not see any major difference in what was happening to the cleaning liquid inside. But let's see how we're looking. That's pretty clean, considering I haven't done anything to it yet. We'll take it, dunk it in the original bath, which was Dawn dishwashing liquid and water. So, and I'm just kind of rinsing with that. Excuse me. And what I need to get actually is a container with some plain water, because even as mild as Dawn is, it will still leave. It will have residual effects. All right, and we're gonna put that in there as our little drying station. All right, we've got our little process now. We're gonna go into the rinse station. We're just gonna go, oh wow, okay. That worked pretty well, guys. I don't know what you can see. I'm still have every intention of going through this carburetor the same way basically that I normally would, but the ultrasonic, the advantage of the ultrasonic is it should break up a lot of the stuff that's gummed up in there. Wow, it's pretty. It's all shiny. The main issue that we had right off the bat was we're trying to get the float needle valve out. Haha. Ta-da. I don't know if y'all saw that. I think I have footage of me fighting to try and get this out, and it did not work at all. But that just came right out now. There we go. It's alright. There we go. Man, guys. That was really stuck down in there. I'm quite impressed with what that's done, though, although this is still completely clogged. But luckily for me, it's going to be freed up now. And we can get it out of there. Now again, on something like this, brass, we definitely want to make sure we have a good bite before we try and turn it. That is still clogged. Just FYI. It certainly does not clean clogged passages magically, and I did not expect it to. What I have here, if you can't see it, I think you can through my magnificent point of view camera, is there's some residual stuff in there. And I think what we're going to do right now, although that's pretty clear, I don't really want to replace a bunch of parts that I don't need to, is kind of my thought on this. But I mean, we could, since we have it. Sorry for looking directly at the really bright light. Again. Anyhow, I want to spray some carburetor cleaner into this. So we're going to move down here a little bit, and we're going to take this carburetor cleaner, and we're going to spray it into every single orifice that we can find. And when you're doing this, you need to make sure that you're wearing some sort of eye protection and or being very mindful of the direction that any of the vents are facing. Because when you spray in this hole, it could come out in any direction. And then I'll just give it a general. Woohoo! See, that's what you're worried about. You don't want that in your eye. A general once over is what I'm trying to say. A once over. And I'm really trying not to just spray ass loads of carburetor cleaner everywhere. I'm kind of trying to keep it controlled. Wow. What do you think, guys? Did it work? That is brand new looking, every bit of it. And I didn't do anything with that. Wow. Let's get a good shot of that. All I'm doing is rinsing it. I did not do anything else to that. You saw. That's real time, kids. All that hardware and that jet, or I don't know what it's called, needle thing, needle wonker, the needle wonker, it's pretty brand new looking. Dang, man, that's a dang old brand new needle wonker. Is that a brand new needle wonker right there? Yep, it sure is. Man, all that stuff looks brand new. I mean, that stuff is amazing. It's amazing. That's my final assessment of the ultrasonic cleaner, is that it's amazing. All right, kids, here we are at the stage of rebuildification. I think for the stage of rebuildification, we wouldn't mind having a sitting station just to continue, just for continuation of the rhyming situation with much elation. Do I even know how to put this thing together? I know where this goes. I know that this goes down in there. Boink, like that. Oh, this is the next part. I believe it goes like that, utilizing this spring. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how that goes. Should I double check? Yes. Am I going to? Yes, actually. That is what we're looking at, and that is how I have it. So it goes like that. And the main thing that you need to do is make sure that that needle goes into that hole. That's important also. And again, we're not tightening them down, but we'll go ahead and drive them down. Now again, I am not tightening these a bunch. I am snugging them up and then tightening it a little bit. Snugging it up and then tightening it a little bit. At which point, we will find the new and improved. Well, I don't know if it's improved any, but it's new. It's neither here nor there. That goes in there, theoretically. 3, 2, 1. In 3, 2, 1. Thank you. I don't know where I left you guys. I think I had put on the bowl. All I did after that was put the accelerator pump assembly together. So that's the spring and all that. The spring, washer, and pin. That's all. Now this is fully assembled and ready to go back on the bike. So that will be our next step. I could easily slap this carburetor back on here and get this motorcycle running right now. However, now that I have the carburetor off, as I may have mentioned while I was taking it off, for instance, this hose here is very cracked and brittle and needs to be replaced. I need to go through and check all these hoses and see if there's anything that needs to be replaced. In addition to that, I would like to clean the rest of the stuff that I could not get to when the intake and carburetor assembly was in place. I apologize to anybody who wanted to see it running this video. I did too. But for me to throw this thing together just to get it edited out and sent out to you tomorrow afternoon, it's not worth it to me because I'll regret it every time I look in here and see all this stuff that's here, which you can see theoretically. With that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and shut this down now with a fully rebuilt carburetor and tell you to watch out for next week's episode where we will clean the rest of this up, get this carburetor in place, and lube the chain and do some basic safety stuff and make sure that this thing's going to be safe to ride. Because at this point, we've got easily a half-hour video out of what I did with this carburetor, and it's going to be another half-hour video to do the rest of that and get it back together. So with that being said, if you don't know the origin of this bike, check out this video over here and it will show you all about the process so far. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching, and as I always say at the end of the video, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.